After saying for who knows how long that the left wants to and is going to defund the police, Donald Trump is now calling for the defunding of the police. Take a look at this. He's talking about police at the federal level, but here on True Social, Republicans in Congress should defund the DOJ and FBI until they come to their senses. The Democrats have totally weaponized law enforcement in our country and are viciously using this abuse of power to interfere with our already under siege elections. So it is Trump who is calling for the defunding of law enforcement. And this is being echoed by many now within the Republican Party, within the MAGA part of the Republican Party. This was from CPAC, somewhat recently from Matt Gaetz saying something similar.
Government back on our side, or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them, if they do not come to heel.
So he's calling for the abolition of the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, all because they went after Trump or something. And then Jim Jordan, this was recently.
Our job, but we're legislators. Our job is to pass legislation, write laws, and pass legislation. So we'll look at that. Okay. And maybe most importantly, Maria, is we control the power of the purse. And we're going to have to look at the appropriations process and limit funds going to some of these agencies, particularly the ones who are engaged in the most egregious behavior.
So the DOJ and the FBI.
Yeah, and what I'd really like.
Okay. So I guess now it's time for Democrats to run the same campaign that Republicans ran just a bit ago, except I don't promote dishonesty, so I guess they couldn't do that, because you remember Republicans were saying about every single Democratic candidate, even all these candidates that didn't want to defund the police, they were saying they want to defund the police and Biden wants to defund the police and all this, and it just wasn't accurate. And of the left, I don't know these days, but at least back then, kind of when this became a talking point, there was a small portion that wanted to, but the prevailing view was no. And then it became just such a talking point that Republicans used dishonestly as an attack line. But at least the small portion that believed or believes in that, while I think their solution's incorrect, the problem they were identifying is an actual problem. Here, their calls for federal law enforcement to be defunded are motivated by something that doesn't exist. This idea that the federal law enforcement is being weaponized against conservatives or against Trump. And it's just, they're fabricating this idea, and that's motivating them to now violate their own principle, purported principle, as they do so often.